Like, it's one thing for me making fun of Chinaland or Japanland or maybe the Middle East.
But let's make sure we weren't followed first.
Let's make sure you've locked the front door and chosen a secret passageway so they don't follow us anymore.
I've been keeping watch, demoiselle. I haven't spotted anyone suspicious thus far.
Really?
Huh. Very good. Let's not let our guard down for now.
I shall find rooms for our respected guests.
I shall book a hotel with a reservation.
Thank you, Malus. Now, let's continue, traveler.
Just like in Samara City, where we have to go through a big door. But this one's different. Is there anything back here? No? No treasure? Not treasure! Whee! I'm jumping down a gigantic sewer pipe. That's all I have to say. Whee! I'm going back into the sewer. This is the lower class section of Fontaine. Ooh. Dang. So this is where the lower class people go. Dang. Hello.
So, this is your base? It's not quite what Paimon imagined.
Because we met everybody. We met Navia upstairs in the higher class section, so you imagine Navia to be way more exquisite.
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's the best we have.
Your best is not exactly what I expected, but I'll go with it anyways.
Well, our funds have been a little tight lately.
I know what you mean.
After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Seems like it's tough times for everyone. But if you have the support of the people, that does sound like it's worth it.
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years ago. I'm afraid I'm not quite his equal.
Why?
Your father... He was the previous
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to explain.
No. I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this topic forever. And, as partners, this is something I hope they can understand. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfaithful in the streets.
Why is that important?
3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor, instead of standing trial. He died in the duelist's ring.
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. I'm sure he was set up.
Given how, like, you have an energy grid that relies on court cases, I'm pretty sure there's an incentive to manufacture the, supporting the energy grid.
At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up and prove his innocence. But, strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but rumor has it that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender, determined to die in the arena.
What?
3 years later, I still don't understand why he did that. How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself.
This idea of what good is honor if you're dead? Well, we did investigate the possibility of Fontainians, or someone from Fontaine, still continuing in the afterlife as like a water spirit, so I think the idea of honor doesn't even, end even after death. Do you have a clue as to why?
The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death.
So, he got caught up in those. My guess is whoever gets caught up in those is going to be the next target.
Ah, so that's why you're so determined to get to the bottom of that case.
That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in, But I haven't found a single new clue in my countless reviews of the investigation records.
My guess is whoever did it wanted to cover their tracks up good.
However, I believe that if the murder case is related to those behind the disappearances, they must know something. I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? Framed? Even if he really did kill his friend, I must get to the truth.
You just want to know for closure because you don't want to be as a mystery so that other people can just rely on implications, insinuations, and innuendos later.
If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me. And now, here I am investigating his death. You really are a handful, aren't you, Papa?
Seeking the truth for the sake of family. You know, we're quite alike in this regard, because she, too, is seeking out family.
Demoiselle, please, if there is anything I can do, anything at all.
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. There are none whom I respect more than the two of you. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet all it took was one murder case for him to be dubbed Callus the Unfaithful.
Didn't we hear something about that? About where you just don't want to be the target of anything, but once a person, like, people can build themselves up a lot throughout their life, but once you're labeled as a messed up person, people, it brings everything down. One small negative thing just brings the whole entire, like, everything that's built down.
Even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our strained finances.
Wait! If Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be a little suspicious when he was accused?
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. It's not something exclusive to people from Fontaine, really. Everyone's like that. People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one slip-up just as much.
But how could... never mind. If Callus was really falsely accused, we have to find the truth. He didn't deserve to have that happen to him.
There is one other thing. Master Callus's opponent in the duel was Ms. Clorand.
Oh, her? Well, then, isn't that as good as saying that she was the one who killed him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the sort of thing that you can just let go and move on from.
The person who saved you killed your father.
Ms. Clorand.
For someone like Callus to not yield, that would ensure his death.
She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing how he was resolute in the arena, there was only ever one choice she could have made.
A beautiful death. If I die, I will die well dressed.
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but I just can't deal with this yet.
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you feel.
Afterward, Ms. Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety.
That he intended to die in that duel.
Yes, that is our understanding as well.
Papa, what madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me?
Maybe, like, he thought, he wanted to die because he knew he wanted to stop it was his effort to stop the whole killing and disappearances. He knew that, whoever defended him would suffer the same fate. So in a way, he's trying to break the cycle there. But because he didn't get to the source of the problem, the cycle still continues.
Alright, anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you. Even if it did sound like I was just complaining towards the end.
Yeah, well, now I have a new worry. The next person I defend is gonna start a whole sequence of events where if I defend them, I'm the next target again.
Thanks.
Yeah. Paimon's...
Please, relax and get some sleep. We will ensure you rest soundly.
Okay. Okay. Sleep, damn it! And so we did. We all slept just like that.
Paimon slept so well. This place feels almost too safe.
Why? You can never be too careful?
Huh? Navia? Where did the other two go?
They left.
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our headquarters. There's not much for them to do here at the moment.
Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off your back.
Maybe, but that also brings another question. She probably wants to talk to the Traveler in a way where she's not being escorted by somebody else.
But never mind that. When did you get back?
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some investigating yesterday regarding the name Vacher.
Can I take a wild guess at this point? Is he in on it? Was he related to the person? Was he related to the group that was connected to the disappearances? And that's why nobody investigated the name?
Wait, so you didn't sleep at...
How could I after having such critical new evidence?
Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just now, huh?
No.
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. It doesn't seem to have a match anywhere.
What?
I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this angle. But that does prove that this Vacher person is a key witness in the incident.
Like, I do wonder about the Oceanid and whoever was in that fountain where the name came from. Could it have been a random name as a result of imagination, or could it have been like I don't know, memories within the Fontaine fountain? I don't know, but if like evidence of absence, here's the thing: the fact that the name doesn't exist does not kind of prove something else, right? There's a big difference between evidence of absence and absence of evidence. So, I don't know. You're not questioning why the Oceanid was wrong, but you're just going with that and then thinking it's right and going forward. But then again, it could be what you said, if people would have taken steps to hinder our investigation, so why not?
Does that mean we're too late, though?
No. There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find almost impossible to... And that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Neuvillette. A place where detailed files on all the cases in recent years are kept.
Do we have to sneak into the courthouse?
If the Oceanid you met is one of the young women who went missing...
So Neuvillette maintains an archive of these files? Whew. In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we?
Right. Excuse me, Your Honor, can I look at your files? No, you don't have my permission.
Aren't you coming along, Navia? Did you get tired?
Yeah, she's gonna fall asleep now. Good night!
No, it's nothing. Let's go see the Honorable Chief Justice.
You wonder if he's in on it? Is everybody in on it? God. Okay. Water. 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 Also, I really wonder if people, like... Can I pause it?
Halt! Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters.
Huh. This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Guess that proves that Neuvillette's files are really secure.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Don't you know who I am? I'm the person who says, don't you know who I am?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
I don't care who you are, just get out of here.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
See? They know what they're doing.
Yep. I can tell.
Yeah. Obviously.
If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy, so please leave if you don't have a reason to be here.
Reason. If you're here to crack jokes, I will automatically call them all cringe.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Linny.
I don't think they care, but at the same time...
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You must be Linny's attorneys. It's all coming back to me now.
I swear to God, you have a speech impediment. Yes, I somehow remember now.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Yes?
Huh. Is that even a thing?
For Navia saying that these people are disciplined, I'm starting to think that's a sarcastic remark now.
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
We are very important people on a very important mission. That makes us super special.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Wow, that was too goddamn easy.
Thanks so much.
Ugh. Wow, with little resistance whatsoever. How the hell does anybody in this world survive? Come in. You have been admitted. Wow.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalet. We only lied to get in because we didn't know any other way.
We lied. Well, if that's the case, then get out of my chamber.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
Okay, he's very, endearing.
So you're not?
We're looking for a man called Vacher. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may...
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
Does he have it in his file? If that's the case, then the name is real. Because it's been recorded in a court record.
Who knew that Nervalet would be so easy to talk to?
You expected him to be extremely strict? Because I kinda did. And then tick, tick, tick. Why is that clock ticking? Wait, is that the actual time?
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vacher has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years.
What about several decades?
There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
So we're back to square one. But how could a name like that exist at all within the Water Fountain's memory oceanid?
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Miss...
Ahem.
I'll see you out now. So
Miss
that's it.
Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
Interesting, he brought that up.
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Nervalet?
And he's sorry that he's involved in a scenario like that because he feels that he was part of the problem, and maybe Nouvelette might somehow feel that her father was possibly unjustly convicted in a court of law, only to suffer a trial by combat and die shortly afterwards.
Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some tendril of regret?
Or those things!
No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should.
So it's not a statement based on logic, you think it's an emotional thing?
It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead.
So is Nouvelette aware?
In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear.
Yeah, well, once again, the law and the energy grid are kinda connected to one another, so the energy grid is kinda connected.
If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop to the duel? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die, despised and hated by all?
Because whoever defends the hated is the hated. And as Neuvillette knows that his position would put him in a compromise if he ever tried to defend Calus.
Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything.
Because just like everybody else, if Neuvillette was to do something, he would have put himself on the line. And that would put the entire court system and the energy grid at a crisis.
There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to.
Yeah, well, the fact that Neuvillette was not able to do that shows how much the energy grid is way more important to the whole scenario rather than human lives. So someone really has this idea of the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. So I think Neuvillette may have taken to that aspect.
If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice.
If Neuvillette were to explain anything, that would kind of unravel everything, especially about the fabric of Fontaine, especially with the energy grid and the Ortrice and everything related to it.
My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Okay. So, does the name Vache exist? Or was it all a dream? So, was Neuvillette in on it?
Navia, are you okay?
I'm fine. Rain. It's raining.
Another court case. Someone else is gonna bite the dust.
You're right. Wasn't it so sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today. How strange.
Okay. Something tells me someone is expecting a trial.
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also raining.
So is somebody else going to be convicted as murderer as well? Is it the Traveler, for no reason, but defending the person who is innocent and screwing up the process of who was going to take the fall for the energy grid?
What is it? Did you think of something?
Your father's case, was he outside when it happened?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value.
But there was something you didn't know at the time?
Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
That people can turn into water?
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water? And then got washed away with the rain? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad.
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right. All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure this time.
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself later?
Now. We should go. You can go first. Go.
Great.
Okay. Am I gonna deal with another court case? Ooh, where Docked Hide echoes. Ooh. Another lower class region within Fontaine. I take it.
Whoa! What a huge ship! Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
Wait, that's a ship?
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters.
Wait, that's your ship?
My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers.
God, I don't know how to respond to that. Why would anyone want to live in a shithole? Okay, maybe I should say it. Why would people want to live in the sewers? I don't know.
But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself, she's been convinced.
Okay.
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home.
You basically live on a ship, so that's why you have those ship wheels on your hips. Okay. I thought you were like a captain or something, but no.
Melus, we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important part. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
We didn't find what we were looking for at the court.
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Melus? On that...
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could the mastermind be the same person?
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson.
Synth. Does that have anything to do with sin, or is that just another word to... I don't know.
At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Right. Long ago, people used alcohol to get high off of drugs, because now drugs and alcohol were considered the same thing.
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
What kind of potion would that be?
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions.
Were you drinking synth?
And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance.
Great! Just like Sumeru at the very beginning of the Archon quest, we're now dealing with another scenario involving drugs and alcohol.
As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Is this like an opioid scenario where there's like an opioid epidemic where people were addicted to it and it screwed everybody up, so there's like an opioid ban? Are we now doing the same thing here? And interesting how the name synth has the word sin in it. I don't know, maybe I'm just looking into too many things.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield.
Are you saying that the people who were after Calus could have been synth vendors? Are we now... Is it like a late stage, like, synth mafia thing going on here?
Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Is this whole case because of an illegal operation involving drugs and alcohol, or drugs-alcohol?
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food.
Uh-huh.
Then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Dang, so the murder is a cover-up for an investigation of a crime?
Huh? How did that happen?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
Yeah, just like in the water tank. So they could have belonged to someone who got dissolved?
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
Maybe your father got in an argument with Jacques, but it was also possible a third person was to blame?
You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out. I'm finally headed towards the truth.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with 0 warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth.
Yeah, well, what happens if we can't find this third person? Then what?
On that note, however,
Oops.
even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as your and your father's butler, I must still offer a word of warning.
That investigating the whole thing is going to cause us to have a target on our backs again? Yes, we already know.
Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice.
Because whoever did it knows how to cover their tracks and finds a way to manufacture court cases out of turning people against each other in an effort to keep the system going and the light bulb on.
Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives. There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
Because Callas did not want Navia to be the next target.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, yeah.
Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark.
Maybe he knew something that would involve a certain truth that you would not be okay with. So maybe you knew you couldn't handle it because you do let your emotions get the best of you.
What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end?
Considering the fact that we're still dealing with the disappearances, a possible voice saying Vacher, and people coming after us even after we defended somebody successfully, no.
Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Navia.
But then again, I don't know if that's possible.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, demoiselle, I think you're also ready to take this on.
Because you have the resolve to take it on.
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case.
Okay.
But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live.
So he was on his way out regardless whether he won that duel or not.
And the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina de Rosula about the details. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right, so nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
Yeah, well, here's the problem. When you have an organization like that that is providing illegal synth and trying to wipe out anybody who gets in their way, regardless how long they're around, nobody gets off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
Also, I do wonder, is this organization in any way connected to the energy grid of the Indentium? Like, because they're running an illegal synth operation, I assume they're going to require a lot of power from the city, which is going to require more court cases. So in a way, they're not only tied to the energy grid, but they're tied to the justice system, so they have an incentive to go after more people. So it's never going to stop so long as they're around.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
Because he knew the truth, and he didn't want to say it to you. He didn't want you to be worried more than you already are.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
Huh. That's a whole other parenting tactic I don't know where to begin with, but I'll just leave it at that.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword.
He wanted to give you the opportunity to do something about it when the other, while the other side was not looking. He wanted to give you an opportunity to go after that organization.
If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight?
Unfortunately, no.
No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now?
He gave you the choice to live how you want, because if he actually did do something, the organization would have gone after you.
Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he really didn't need to give me an easy way out. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where synth is produced. Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters.
Ooh. So we can actually do something about it. But where is it?
When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture. But a single visit to their headquarters will be tantamount to a formal declaration of war.
Has anybody ever had a single visit?
The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Because any action taken by somebody else would be seen as an affront regardless. Any sort of probing would be considered an invasion.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Because, like I said before, they're all connected.
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
Yeah.
Huh. That's true. Seems my father really had no choice. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with the disappearances case.
Yeah, well, how are you gonna be able to pull that off?
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will.
I just serve tea, clean up, and do what the Mademoiselle does.
I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability, I've spent my time keeping secrets, performing basic investigations, and waiting for the right time to come.
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to is that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here.
Is the other guy who's not here?
When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendors.
Is the other guy an informant?
If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people. The
What?
first is Florent, Spina di Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid capture this whole time. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
What is this confrérie?
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around, with a lot of business connections in the city.
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
Oh, God.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Though the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's almost too hard to believe.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit.
Aw, thank you so much, Malou.
A new case awaits, my dear partner.
Proving your father's innocence, but even if that was the case...
I hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
Callous case records. Oh, wait. We're in another, case? Ooh.